What even is a Bogdan? I can tell you one thing, it definitely isn't about my boy Dan slowly sinking into a bog, never to be seen again. But how were you supposed to know that? Because we don't have one of these bad boys. Unfortunately, this book is completely empty. So today, we're going to change that. We're going to take the unwritten laws of Counter-Strike and, well, write them down to help noobs like you avoid getting arrested by the fun police.
You're under arrest for not dropping AVP to Orange when he had 7 HP and you still had 100.
Bogdan. Even if you don't know what it means, you've probably at least heard it. It's easily one of the most famous unwritten laws in the Counter-Strike community. I know it's been covered before, so we'll keep this short and sweet. This one traces back all the way to 2016 in a heated Rank S match. While unfortunately the lead up to the first instance of this law has been lost to the sands of time, we are lucky enough to still have the footage of when Bogdans Law was first spoken into existence. The key players are Steel, yes, that's Steel, and the lesser known but now immortalised Bogdan. No, not that Bogdan. This Bogdan. I'll play you a trimmed version of the argument so you can get the gist.
Steel, you're a fucking dumb fuck for not giving me the op.
You're right, dude. And then you just ran up cat like that instead of just going out long.
If you fucking give me the op, I can actually do something.
You tell me how it makes sense.
I can play long range. I can play super long range, pick somebody up, it's one hit, one kill. With an AK, I have to hit somebody 4 times, okay? And I have 1 HP.
So what exactly is our 4D chess grandmaster Bogdan saying here? In plain terms, if player X, in this case Bogdan, has low HP and a rifle, and player Y, in this case Steel, has full HP and an AWP, then player Y should drop the AWP to player X and take the rifle. Why? Because if you're one toe tickle away from death, you're not going to outgun anyone in a rifle engagement, and at that point you've basically just become a glorified decoy with opinions. But if you're handed a gun that only needs 1 clean shot to get a kill, like the AWP, you can still be dangerous, even at 5 HP. Meanwhile, the healthy player still has a shot at winning duels with a rifle. At the time, Steel completely denied that this was the right play.
You're right, dude. You're right. That makes sense.
Deep breath, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold.
Just tell me.
Everything doesn't make sense about it.
Just tell me.
Why would you think having an op with no health is gonna make sense?
But over time, pro after pro after pro proved that Bogdan was right. Even Steel himself eventually started doing it.
I'm gonna flash first? Yeah. What?
But Steel still had one saving grace. He referenced the time when Guardian dropped an AWP to Simple in a similar scenario, and followed it with this elite level observation.
Simple isn't Bogdan!
Oh really? Who isn't Bogdan, Steel?
Simple!
Simple is not whom?
Bogdan!
Exactly.
Simple isn't Bogdan!
What Steel was getting at is this. Bogdan's Law makes logical sense, but it needs context. If the low HP player is absolute dogshit, and the high HP player knows this, then yeah, maybe don't hand them the AWP, just because they have 4 HP and a dream. And with that, we have our very first official law, converted from unwritten to written. So that's 1 down, and many more to go.
Hey everyone, Steel here. I was wrong, and Bogdan was right. Thanks for the views.
Every now and then, you can't help it, something awakens deep inside of you. You can feel it in your bones. You become a London roadman. And your mission? To shank the ops. And in the pistol round chaos, you see your moment. Someone's back is turned, and you lunge. But now, what do you do with all that juicy bonus money? The smart thing? Buy a rifle, armour, maybe a kit? Nah, you know exactly what you're buying. The Big Green. Possibly the worst weapon to have against pistols, SMGs, or literally anything that moves fast and crouch spams. If you lose it, it's a waste of a shed load of money and you just handed the opposing team one of the best weapons in the game for free. And at this point, your teammates are probably fuming. But none of that matters, because the law is the law. If you knife someone on pistol, you must cosplay as Kenneth Shrub for round 2. Even if it costs your team the entire round and maybe even the game, the moral victory is unmatched. We all know the most factual law in Counter-Strike. Skins get wins. So get yourself some new ones from my sponsor, skinvault.gg. Skinvault lets you buy, sell and trade skins instantly. With over 1 million available, you'll be sure to find exactly what you want. Getting ready is simple. Just log in through Steam, enter your trade link, and you're ready to upgrade your inventory. Pick the skins you want and what you want to offer, and in just a few clicks, your trade is complete. And if you broke a law and need some bail money, you can even instantly cash out with the lowest fees on the market. The best way to support me while getting something for yourself is to head over to Skin Vault and use code BONATHON for a $10 bonus on your first trade and a 35% deposit bonus. You've won the round and the half is over. Or maybe the game's just ended. Win or lose, what do? Isn't it obvious? You throw your weapons on the floor like a panicked criminal ditching evidence. Why? Nobody knows, and nobody questions it. We just do it. It's not written anywhere. Gabe Newell didn't ask you to. But deep in your soul, you know, this is tradition. Some say it's to humble yourself before half-time. Others believe it's a sacrifice to the CS gods in exchange for better aim in the next round. And if you don't do it, someone always notices. And so, it goes in the book. Warm up. A time to practice your aim, test your movement, casually bunny hop into mid like you're not about to bottom frag in 20 minutes. But do you know what warm up is not for? Talking. Ever. When you load into a CS game and it's warm up time, a sacred, unspoken silence falls over the server. Fragile peace treaty signed by 10 strangers. Nobody speaks, nobody types, nobody breathes. Because if you so much as whisper into that mic before the match starts, you either got to get flamed into orbit, or worse, completely ignored like you just farted in an elevator. Even if all 10 players have mics and will start talking in exactly 30 seconds when the pistol round starts, during warm-up, you are a ghost. There's no law saying this, no tutorial teaches it, but the second you break it, you'll feel it in your bones. And why is it like this? Nobody knows. Maybe it's superstition, maybe it's to weed out the truly unhinged, or maybe, just maybe, it's the one moment in a Counter-Strike addict's life where he experiences peace. So if you're new to Counter-Strike, take this advice seriously. Warm-up isn't for bonding, warm-up isn't for call-outs. Warm-up is for silently judging your teammates based on how many headshots they hit on immobile enemies in their spawn. And now we add it to the book, now made official. Now, this one's subtle, almost primal. You might not even realise it's happening. You're standing in spawn, minding your own business, buying up your M4 and some flashbangs. Then suddenly, you feel a presence, a quiet desperation. They're not talking, they're not pinging, they're just crouching and looking you up and down like a sad shelter puppy. You check the scoreboard. They have no money. They haven't said a single word, but you know what they want. They want a drop. This isn't begging, it's Counter-Strike sign language, a sacred ritual passed down from muted warriors before us. And honestly, it works. You feel bad. You toss them a FAMAS and tell yourself that it's the right thing to do. And then they instantly miss all their shots and die trying to dry peek an AWP in mid. But hey, at least you obeyed the law. Sorry to interrupt, but if you're enjoying the video, please consider subscribing. I'm currently 1/25th of my way to a silver play button, so help me bring down my ETA. Also, I have an announcement. I have a Discord server, and while it hasn't been used for anything yet, I am now going to be hosting a community fantasy league with skin prizes. The skins are only worth around $20, but considering there are only 30 people in the Discord, you have a great chance of winning. So come and play. The first game will be starting August 5th. Link in the description. CT side begins. Some people call positions, some people don't, and if you don't, you're left with it. That's it, that's your assignment, it's in writing, and it's locked in. Now what you shouldn't do, and I cannot stress this enough, is just randomly pick a different position every round. You don't just silently moonwalk into A site like some kind of stupid Michael Jackson. You don't suddenly take mid like it's free real estate. And you certainly don't take my B site just because you felt like switching it up this round. You are not that autistic. You don't need a change of scenery every round just to stay focused. If you want to switch, that's fine. Just say something, use your mic, or even a yo you want to swap in the chat is enough. But doing it without asking, and I cannot stress this enough, that's matchmaking treason, war crime adjacent. Straight to hell behaviour. Of course, sometimes you need to change things. Maybe they've just rushed A 3 rounds in a row and you want to triple stack it. Completely fine. But again, you say that. Don't just drift toward the wrong side of the map like some sort of lost Counter-Strike soul. So this one definitely goes in the book. It's a 1vx situation. Your teammate is the last one alive. Everyone else, dead. Useless. Spectators to their own tragedy. And in this moment, there is but one rule.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking bitch.
Sure, you can call out one or two things, like, he was short, the bomb's down, he has a kit. That's fine and that's helpful. But once the crosshair goes up, your mouth goes closed. Because when the clutch begins, every footstep matters. every reload click, every pixel out of place, and you yapping in his ear about what you would have done is just noise pollution. Believe it or not, no one wants to be backseated from the guy who immediately died, dry peeking mid with a MAC-10. The match begins. You load into T-side, and the clock ticks down, and you have been picked. You're the chosen one, the carrier, the sacred keeper of the bomb. Now, while in pro play, who gets dropped the bomb might be decided based on strategic roles, in matchmaking, it's completely random. So if you get it, it's yours. Stop throwing it around like a hot potato at a birthday party, because too often the bomb just gets yeeted between player after player before it's just left in spawn and forgotten, until someone about a minute into the round goes, "Who's got bomb?" And then the realisation kicks in that it's going to take a multi-marathon to get it back, just so you have a chance at winning the round. Yeah, with that being said, if you're going full sprint into B-side like a headless chicken, maybe do drop the bomb. Because if you do know that you're the entry, and you know you have a high chance of dying, maybe it's your chance to act like a responsible adult and pass off the responsibility of that ticking time bomb for the benefit of your team. Because if you do entry with the bomb and happen to die first, then you've single-handedly lost your team the round and earned yourself a team report or a shit ton of flaming. This one isn't about aim, strats or utility. No. This is about manners. Fake, forced, and mostly delusional manners. At the start of every game, you must say GLHF, or good luck, have fun. Now, obviously you don't mean any of that. You hope that the enemy has no luck. And let's be real, nobody's having any fun. But we say it anyway. Why? Because we are civilised gamers. Then we have NT, or nice try, used usually after someone has a failed clutch attempt. Now, it doesn't matter if in fact it was not a nice try, even if it looked like they were being controlled by a cat running across their keyboard, you still must say nice try. The phrase serves one purpose, a morale boost. You're not congratulating them, you're keeping the team from imploding into silence and mid-game uninstalls. Then we have the mid-game GH, or good half, and finally the almighty GG, or good game. Even if it was a close game 13-11 and you bottom fragged, even if the game actually wasn't good, you should still make sure to type this message. Bonus points if you're the bottom fragger and you've put an easy on the end. Why do we do this? Because in Counter-Strike, saying GG isn't about the game being good. It's about us pretending that we're good people. And that's all for today. Obviously there are many more I could have added, so leave a comment with anything you think I missed, and if this video does well enough, I'll make a part 2 and credit the commenter. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.